was absolutely blown away by this show. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ian J. Cole and this is the second video blog from Edinburgh Fringe on day 2, and this show is about the 3 deaths of Ebony Black, which is a puppet show. And before we get into the review, here is a short piece of film by Ebony, who is the writer-performer of the piece.
So I made a show, it's called The 3 Deaths of Ebony Black, and I thought I might show you the journey. Hello. The show's called The 3 Deaths of Ebony Black, and it's a 3-act play based on a quote. Have I lost you yet? Wait till you read the quote. Here it is. What? And then I got a performer, his name was Nick. This was in the Perth Fringe Festival, by the way. Did I tell you that? I didn't. That's where it was. So we went to our venue. This is our theatre, by the way. Shambles. It's very good. I like it a lot. I don't know if you can see because of the sun. It's a tent. It's really rad. All the shows at the Perth Fringe, or a lot of them, are intense. We rehearsed it's looking good. The only thing is, it's stuck in the Middle Ages. Where are the lights? Where's the stage? Where's the magic of theatre? So we did what they call in the biz a tech rehearsal.
I said maybe silly string would be better.
Silly string is fine. I like.
We also had to sell some tickets, so here's some footage of me flyering, but it's very artistic, so enjoy just legs.
And he's a porn star too.
We performed it and it was the best, and I loved it, and I loved every second of it. I mean, the whole time was great, actually. Just had a bloody great time. And best news is, I get to do it again, bitches!
When it started, and you had that technique where the sort of enactors or enablers are moving the character, and it always that reminds me a bit of War Horse.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
that,
I get that.
You know,
yeah.
even though this was much more in miniature, but it had that. They mimicked the movements of the old lady because that's how it started. And when it started, I liked the way they moved with her. I liked what they were saying, their interactions, or her interactions with us, the way that we were just observing what was obviously the end of her life. And I thought, where's this going to go? Because I thought we were then going to sort of look back on her life. But actually, it wasn't about that. It was about the repercussions of her death.
And just before I move on to the next bit, can I just say that, because I loved the opening sequence with the old lady puppet, or Ebony Black, the Ebony Black puppet, because she clearly is dying.
Yeah.
But I certainly, for the first 5 minutes or so, I was very distracted by them. I sort of wanted them to be all in black.
No.
So because they're in t-shirts and short trousers, and you can see their arms and I kept looking at them more than looking at the puppet, and that felt slightly a bit weird.
No, I didn't.
You didn't get that.
No, because I suppose we have seen that technique.
We have,
used before.
yeah.
I mean, what I thought about first was why they were both wearing
Like dungarees. Yeah.
Which became apparent because actually they very cleverly used, because they had at one point they had far too many characters
Puppets, yeah.
than they had hands.
Yeah.
So they used, because they were on like sort of little sticks, they actually had them in their pockets, which actually was very clever.
It was clever.
And that was why
Yeah.
they were wearing dungarees.
Did you also notice that they were triggering the music?
Yes, because he kept doing that.
He kept doing that, and there was a foot switch on the floor, and that. I mean, so the guy doing the sound at the back was really just doing the overall sound. They weren't doing any triggering of any that sort of music content, and I quite liked that because obviously it meant that they were in complete control of everything that was going to happen on stage.
That's right.
You know.
And the narrative, there was a narrative. And it got very surreal, it got very black, it got very dark. It was about death and people's, and how some people are not very nice to their siblings and
relatives.
people. At which point, I think we were both distracted by the three children that were
Who was sat in the row in front. Yeah.
The youngest was probably about 5 or 6.
Yeah, I'd have said so.
I don't think there was older than 11 or 12.
Yeah.
And we've just checked, and it was for 14 and above.
Which is part of the reason why I picked the show to go, because I wouldn't normally go to a children's show.
So,
and I thought 14 plus, it was ideal for us, and it was.
And it was, because it like I say, it got very surreal.
And it wasn't huge. There wasn't a lot of laughs, but there were a few laughs in it. I mean, the bit where he was not giving anything away, but Nick, he didn't have a hand or a pocket for a puppet, and he ended up using his foot, which was actually really quite funny, wasn't it? You know?
Yeah. But yeah, it was maybe slightly too long.
I felt that it was it an hour?
Yeah.
It was an hour, so it wasn't 50 minutes, it was an hour. Yes, just towards the end, I thought it was getting a little bit too, I wasn't getting bored, but
No. But it could have ended sort of 5-10 minutes early.
Yeah.
But, that's a minor criticism, or an observation anyway, from my point of view.
I mean, I did have a feeling, it had a definite feeling of The Nightmare Before Christmas with Tim Burton's the director, and I can't remember, Jack Black. I think Jack Black was the character. I can't remember. It's a long time ago since I've seen it. But anyway, and certainly some of the puppets looked a bit like those sort of
maybe facially.
That's not a criticism. That's not a negative criticism.
No.
It's just an observation, really.
But really well constructed, and the thought that goes into that kind of production, because there's so much to think about, and at various times they bob down and they come up with a new character, and obviously incredibly well rehearsed.
It was, very much so,
brilliant. I mean, it was very good.
I mean, they've got these bits where I think it's silly string that they spray out into the middle of the audience, not actually over people, but into the gangway, and occasionally Amberley would hit a person and she'd apologise, which was actually quite funny, So anyway, anything else?
No, it was good.
Right, the 3 Deaths of Ebony Black are on every day at the Fringe at 4:30 in Underbelly, Bristol Square, and the Daisy Room. So if it's the sort of thing that you think you might enjoy, I would certainly recommend it.
Yep, definitely.
Okay, see you in the next video. Thanks very much. Bye bye.